What the fuck? Hello everybody and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing Men. Men. Directed by Alex Garland and starring Jessie Buckley, Rory Kinnear and Papa Asiedu. Men tells the story of a woman who is suffering with grief after losing a loved one. She goes away to a manor in the countryside, nice and isolated, to find some free time and clear her mind. But the men in this village have other ideas and are acting quite peculiar to her arrival. I have been incredibly vague there, and I am not going to go much deeper than that. I'm not spoiling this one for you. Before we go any further though, could you be a dear? Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We're aiming to be at 250 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm hoping we might even be able to surpass that because we're well on track for it. So please do hit that like button and the subscribe button. Please do hit the comment section as well. And we really do thank you for your support. So getting straight into it, I personally thought there was a lot to love about this movie. The big standout being that it is beautifully shot. The locations are absolutely mesmerizing. Just one glance at these places and your immediate thought would be, we need to make a movie here because it is stunning. And Alex Garland absolutely pushes that to its limit. Some of the shots here, some of the locations, I just found myself sat back in my seat thinking, wow, that is beautiful. Outstanding work in the cinematography department here. And another big standout for me is the atmosphere of this movie. My God, is there a strange, unnerving sense at every turn in this film. I think a lot of it comes from the isolation of the characters, the lighting, and more so the sound design. The music here is beautiful, but haunting and so unsettling. It created such a strange bubble for me to exist in where I loved what I was hearing. It sounded stunning, but I didn't feel at ease with it either. It is a creepy movie from start to finish. And of course, I have to talk about the performances. My God, there is some real impressive work going on here. Not just from Rory Kinnear, who I think a lot of people are going to talk about for obvious reasons. He is electric in this movie. But I also thought Jessie Buckley and Papa Asiedu were very good here too. Papa Asiedu is not in the movie for that much of it, and yet I still totally felt his impact enough to include his name in the credits here because I think he's worth discussing. And Jessie Buckley, it is such a grounded and vulnerable performance. I thought she was absolutely outstanding. It was very understated, and I think it might get looked past simply because Rory Kinnear, the man of the hour, what a performance. You might not all agree with me, but personally I think this is Oscar nominee worthy. Whether or not it will win the Oscar, I don't know. There's lots of films still to come out. But nominee, yeah, it's deserving. I thoroughly enjoyed this experience. It was so unique, so different to anything else that I've seen in recent memory. The atmosphere is so creative and so immersive, but I would be lying if I sat here and said that it was perfect. I do have quite a few problems with this movie. There is too much that goes unexplained in this movie. It's not even to a point where it's open to interpretation for the audience to make up their own mind. No, things happen before your eyes and you are uncertain as to why or if it was even real. The film almost contradicts itself in that sense. It ends up feeling like art over substance, and that's not the case here. There's a hell of a lot of substance here, but if Alex Garland was smarter and actually put it more in the forefront and made it more accessible, then I think it would have been way more impactful than just leaving audiences scratching their head and thinking, what? Give me something to consider, not just baffled by. And that does bring us to the biggest problem I have with the movie, that ending. It's too fucking mental. Even for me, I love mental. I love being caught so sideways that I never saw it coming. This wasn't a matter of never seeing it coming, it was a matter of this was never set up and it just sort of happens. And I'm starting to see a running theme with Alex Garland now. I believe Alex Garland is a very intelligent man who is very good at writing stories about very unique subject matters that not everybody's really thinking about. And not only is he very good at doing that, he's very good at exploring it to totally new, unfounded depths and taking it to avenues that you would never expect, but totally makes sense that it went there, only for him to have absolutely no idea how to land the plane, so he just goes absolutely mental. He did it with Annihilation, and he's done it with Men. But for me, Men is the biggest criminal in that offence. I was on board and understanding this story until you went mental, and then it was like I might as well have just binned everything I thought was happening, because that wasn't what I thought was happening. And the more I've sat and thought about it and tried to figure out the point of it or why it did that, the less I understand it. And the more I genuinely believe that Alex Garland just did that for the sake of shock. And shock value for the sake of shock value does absolutely nothing for me. Doesn't raise a pulse. You had a great point and then you blew it with completely unnecessary nonsense. And adding on to that, I think that the messaging of this movie is playing a very dangerous game of potentially being translated incorrectly. I have to be very careful because I can't discuss spoilers, but personally, it did not sit with me well whatsoever. So I'm going to give Men an 8 out of 10. You won't necessarily walk out of it with a certified opinion on it straight away. I know I didn't. I certainly don't feel the same now as I did walking out of that cinema 15, 16 hours ago. I needed that time to digest it, break it down, think about it, try and find answers that I maybe didn't see to actually come to a conclusion here. And this is quite a hard movie to review because on some level I could very easily give this a 10 out of 10 for how beautifully it's made and the killer performances throughout. But I could also very easily give this a 6 out of 10 because I think they kind of crash landed that plane and needed the oxygen masks to fall down to get there. So I don't know really who to recommend this to. Not you, Mum. I can say that much. Mum, you'd hate this. Don't watch this. I suppose if you liked Ex Machina and Annihilation, give it a try. It's not really the same film, but you can tell it's made by the same guy. If you like really offbeat and strange horror, definitely check it out. You'll love it. But apart from that, I don't really know who the movie's for, to be brutally honest with you. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and please do hit the comment section below. Please let me know what you thought of Men. What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate the whole thing entirely? Let me know in the comment section below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.